This is East Midlands Today with Anne Davis and me, Dominic Heel.
Yes, tonight, how high street rail could rip a street apart.
One side's threatened with demolition.
It's not about the monetary terms, it's about the fact we like it here.
The others left in the dark.
Nobody knows anything. It's all very strange.
A very good evening and welcome to Tuesday's programme. So, the route has been unveiled, the letters have been sent out, but still the prospect of high-speed rail is unnerving householders and businesses across the East Midlands.
Officials say that the £32.7 billion project will create at least 100,000 jobs and slash journey times. But in town and country, for those on the route, it's the uncertainty that's causing concern.
Kylie Pentelow has been to Annesley Woodhouse in Nottinghamshire to investigate.
Every day there's another story of how high-speed rail will affect our region. We've heard from businesses, farms and homes on the proposed route. In a moment I'll be looking at the impact on wildlife. But first, Tom Brown reports from Long Eaton on a street that could be completely knocked down by high-speed rail.
There may be a pot of gold on the horizon, but for homeowners here in Long Eaton, the government buying their house will be little consolation. On this street, it's not just one house that's affected by HS2. As many as 35 homes could be in the way of the new high-speed train line.
And residents say the plans have left them in shock.
Watch your house being knocked down. I couldn't handle that.
It's all about what ifs at the moment.
It's
You know,
just
we
not-
don't know where we
not
are.
knowing
The future.
the future
Really?
and
Is that? You know.
finding another property is just in a mist, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not about the monetary terms, it's about the fact we like it here.
Residents on this side of the road, the ones closest to the current train tracks, so they all got a letter telling them that their homes could be subject to a compulsory purchase order. But come over to the other side of the road, where the residents say they didn't get a letter, meaning that if those homes were to get knocked down and these were to stay, HS2 could feasibly come right up to their front gardens.
Of course, the government says the HS2 route is only a proposal, but for these residents, the speculation is still serious.
What are we seeing? Will it be just like a big fence? Will it be straight onto the train tracks? Also, you know, the crossing, is that going to be more dangerous for my kids, you know, to go into town and stuff? It's all, nobody knows anything. It's all very strange.
Adrian and Tina hope to have a meeting with their local MP to discuss their next step, but they say they're resigned to leaving what's been their home for 26 years.
Pictures in your mind of bulldozers knocking everything down and just coldly bulldozing the gardens flat.
You know, the existence of the property, the physical existence of the property, it will just be gone. You know, and that's really sad.
That was Tom Brown reporting there. Now this is Boggs Farm Quarry and the HS2 route is coming straight through here. And the Nottinghamshire Wildlife Trust say it will have devastating effects for the site.
It just all comes together here and we're left with a mixture of plants that are just practically unique in the county.
This frog orchid, so rare, it only grows here and on one other reserve. It's part of the reason why this site is of special scientific interest. That's the highest level of protection that can be awarded. But the Trust says where HS2 is concerned, that doesn't seem to count for much.
We find ourselves in a hugely frustrating position of fighting to save a site that's already got protected status. The fight to save this site should already have been won, and we should be focusing on other threatened areas across the county.
Some people might think it doesn't really look much. Why should we bother saving something that looks like this?
Yeah, it's pretty uninspiring at this time of year. Grassland never looks good in the winter. But just because something doesn't look nice doesn't mean to say it's not worth something. And the value of the different plants here, the mixture of plants, the invertebrates, the fungi, the bees, the butterflies and so forth, all come together to form part of this great nation we live in.
And there are other nature reserves just like this one along the proposed route, some of international importance.
You know, every site is worth fighting for, but this particular site, the real frustration is that they've put a line on a map that goes right through a protected site, and we're not really sure how that's allowed to happen.
The Trust says this can't be cut in half and will fight to save our green heritage. Kylie Pentelow, BBC East Midlands Today at Boggs Farm Quarry.